So here's the thing, ladies and gentlemen, okay? We want to talk this evening to you about how, what does work look like versus training. I want to talk to you about that because right now, 26 million people is unemployed. That number, I think, is going to get bigger. And since that number is where it is, and since that number, I believe, is going to get larger, then many of you find yourself at home right now and you don't know what to do. See, on your job every day, you're told exactly what to do. You're told what time you need to be at your job. So you get up in the morning, you prepare everything you need to do, and preparation to get out of the house. You know exactly what time you need to leave home to get to where you need to be on your job at a certain time. And you do that. And this country is built by multiplied millions of people who have taken that road to their destiny. But now, when all of this pandemic comes, it's caught all of those people off guard. Now, because they don't know what to do now that they are sitting home and they said, okay, yeah, I hear you saying, Alvin, this is a technology-driven company. I hear you saying, Alvin, this is a company that we can work from home. But what does work really look like? What do we do? How do we help these 26 and maybe even as much as 40 or 50 million people who are sitting home every day right now who's not going to get their job back when even we call the pandemic over? Many of these people are not going to get their job back. How do they do that? I want to just say this to you, ladies and gentlemen. I am extremely blessed. And I go back to God knew this from the foundation of the earth. Now, Alvin didn't know this. Because when Alvin left Mississippi cutting the food, Alvin enjoyed going to happy hour, drinking and cutting the food and talking. I know y'all don't see me that way now, but Alvin enjoyed that. And then one day, I went back to school and I got some education. And I learned that, wait a minute, the reason people are struggling is they don't know this. And so I began to look around for what I was going to do with my life. And I was going to get in the financial service industry. And my wife talked to a lady about that at her work. And that lady knew Ivy Stokes. That lady told her, why did he talk to Ivy Stokes? Now, in addition to me liking to drink that gin back then and do all that partying, the other thing I didn't like was my wife going to work talking about our home. Because where I come from, and many of you come from this same position, we don't talk about what's going on in our home. You talk about what's going on in somebody else's house. But you don't need to go tell nobody about what's going on in our home. We okay. We straight. But I had a commitment to my wife, and one would say I made this commitment at my wedding, but I don't think I really did. I didn't understand. I got married very young. My wife and I had a commitment to each other that we were never going to get a divorce. And thank the Lord, 41 plus years later, we're still together. Because of that commitment, no matter what go on, we were going to talk about it, work through it. So even though I didn't like her doing that, I decided I would sit down and listen to this guy named Ivy Stokes tell me how to fix my finances. So I met Ivy in December of 1988. He came to my house. I hadn't had but one gin that night, so I was pretty cool. I could listen pretty careful. God had me in a good place. And so as he talked to me about the company he was with, kind of like the value current presentation is. It was all the things that said, that sounds good. But then at the end, I told him, I said, one thing I'm going to go through this. And he said, let me tell you something, Alvin. If you do this, this is going to be what they're going to do. And if you do this with me, I believe, man, you can get rich. I said, dude, you could have started that first. All my life, I don't want to get rich. When I left Mississippi, I wanted to get rich. I just didn't know how to do it. Why you just start there? I ain't got nothing to do. All of a sudden, I had nothing to do. I had to go to bed. I had to watch TV. I had to drink no more gin. I didn't want to know how I get rich. That was December of 1988. I told him that night I was going to do it. I didn't actually join that night, but I told him I was going to do it. 2 days later, I showed up at home. I didn't go to half hour. My wife said, you going to that meeting tonight? I said, yeah. Now, I had missed half hour for years. And I came home, went to the meeting, and I liked what I heard again, and I joined out in business. Now, I'm not going to get into all the details of this, But not only did Alvin Curry get rich, I left my job in 1988. I've never had another job since. My wife and I moved our family to Georgia in 1995. My wife has never had a job since 1995. Everything that we do in our lives financially, we've done that since 1988. We've done that through this company, through this principle that we do in this company. Ladies and gentlemen, we got wealth. But what I'm more proud of than that, is more proud than anything, is I can point to people like John Pettiford, who also delivered their family, who during this pandemic does not have to worry. When I talk to people all across this country, some of you on my call the other night, you saw Latasha. Latasha told me a story she hadn't mentioned last night, but she told me I could say it. She is a single mother, and during this pandemic, she's lost her job. And she said, Mr. Kerr, I'm not worried. Because of my income, I paid my debt down, and I got savings, and I'm in good shape. That made me feel great. That made me feel proud. The testimonies I heard today, that make me feel proud to see you want to go from the, if she said payday loan queen or whatever that was. I just can't see her in that role that you want us, I bet, at least. Just like people probably can't see me in the same role. But hey, I'm proud to hear that. The people that I have not even met, all of the great jobs you all did on the training today. I know Larry and some of the other people here, but I don't know all of you who are doing this training today. What a great job. See, that makes me know that what we're doing works. And here's something else, is I know people will tell you these days, that sounds too good to be true. That sounds like a scheme. That sounds like something else. Tell them to do this. So I tell you what you do. Get in and prove it's a hustle. Prove it's a scheme. If you think it's a scheme, once you get in, if you work these principles, and if you think it's a hustle and a scheme, tell them to give them their money back. Tell them to take 90 days. Listen, folks, you can't lose. Because if they take 90 days and work these principles, they ain't gonna quit. Now, they get in 90 days, don't do nothing, they will quit. Because they know, they say, I just gave my money away. You know good well they get in time they do, folks. And it's going to be, if people got a job, they can't afford to get no taxes away. If they don't have a job, they need to go make some income. Even if they do have a job, they're going to cut payroll on most folks out here 25%. The stimulus bill allows them to cut payroll 25%. You better believe corporations going to cut so they can get their budget in line. They're not thinking about you. Everything about this stimulus bill is about getting the U.S. economy straight. Y'all heard me say this before. It's President Trump's job. He ain't working on getting this U.S. economy back. He don't think he can win president if he don't get this U.S. economy going. He see all the pandemic. But he also know he can't go into November with 20% unemployment. So they got to do everything they can to get them unemployment numbers down. I talked to them about that this morning. They're working to get them unemployment numbers down. They don't care whether you ain't got no job. They just don't want you to be on unemployment. You ain't getting unemployment, then they're okay. They want to get the stock market back up. How do they get the stock market back up? Come to got to make profit. How do they come to make profit? Cut expenses. What are expenses? Payroll. Raise revenue. How do you raise revenue? Raise your price. That's how they get it done. And folks are sitting around on a job. They say, well, I'm just going to go get me another job. They run the same play. I told you this before in one of my trainings. I've been seeing this play ran. This is my fourth time in the 30 years I've been in business with Alvin. In November of 87, I saw the stock market dip. They ran this play. In 99, the dot-com bubble burst. They ran this play. 2007 through 9, the recession. They ran this play. The way you fix your life, if they say you need to go back to school, get you some more education so you can be ready for the new economy. You see the advertising on TV right now. Come on, go to school, get some more debt. So now you can fix your economy. Let's talk about it. I got a little and I want to talk to you about here. I call it success strategies versus wealth strategies. All right. Here is a success strategy that Alvin Kerr was taught. My mother taught this to us when we were growing up in Mississippi. She had 10 children. All of her children got this. The way to success was go to school to get a good education. That meant in the Curry family, you need to get at least a bachelor's degree from college. All of her children eventually got that done. Then you need to go out and find yourself a good job. On that good job, she didn't understand this part, but she said, yeah, work hard, baby, keep your nose clean. You're going to work 40 plans. 40 hours a week for 40 years, and you're going to retire on 40% of what ain't enough today. Now, how do I know this? 95% of the people in this country, when they reach age 65, they don't have enough money to retire. They don't work 40 years or more, and they ain't got enough money to retire after working their life. They get their whole life to corporations, and they ain't got enough money to retire. My mother taught us to do good, help the poor. Many of you, you know you give to help poor people. You know you do more giving than big corporations do. You know during this pandemic, those of you that could have already helped poor people. Surely we should help the poor. I would never tell anyone we should not do that. Now, but let's look at this, okay? Save a little money for a rainy day. That was my mother's thing. Many of you know my mother died last year, almost a year now, but my mother died last May. On my mother's death, and when the family was all similar, that we went through all of her stuff. My mother had, at 95 years old, amassed $4,500, roughly, savings, all she had in her life. All she had, because she believed in saving for a penny pinch for a rainy day. And while I was taking care of her most of the last 15 years, I used to tell mother all the time, baby, you ain't got to save no rainy day. It's already storming outside. You in the storm now, mother. If you were going to ever save this. But she was just, well, you know, she was just born and bred that way. And she was supposed to save a little bit. In 95 years in the earth, she was able to amass $4,500 at death. Ladies and gentlemen, they call that success. That was taught to believe that was success. Many of you have been told a similar principle.
Mr. Curry, understand that? Yeah, I'm on it.
Okay, wait a minute, hold up. Y'all need to mute. Y'all need to mute. I know y'all hear me. I know y'all not muted. Don't have no conversation. Okay? Now, let me show you another success strategy. But this is what I'll call a wealth strategy. Now, they call this a scam. Bill of business. Well, I like to ask any of them people who are there that call themselves on another page. I don't ask any of them, show me who you know in this country is wealthy. Show me one that's got a job. Anybody you call wealthy, show me one that's got a job. Because you call building a business a scam, show me somebody that's doing it your way, that's wealthy. Or did you just forget about you used to want to be wealthy? Ask them sometime, when you were growing up, did you dream that you wanted to work at the grocery store? I'm not saying there's anything wrong with the grocery store, but you know that was your dream. You know you're not working your dream job. And even if you work in your dream job, you thought you would be better off. You didn't think you were going to have to live all your life struggling. Many times now I talk to my little young niece. She talk about how her mother don't buy her this and don't buy her that. She don't know why her mother won't buy her a new cell phone every year. I told her one day, I said, let me show you why your mother going to buy you a new cell phone every year. She wanted the iPhone, which costs about $1,200. I said, I need you to understand what you call a good job. One of her friends had a $13 an hour job. I said, okay, you quit school and go get you one of the $13 an hour job. Now, divide that by $1,200. That's how many hours you got to work to pay for a $1,200 phone. That's almost 2 weeks. Now, where you going to live at? What you going to do? That's why your mama don't buy you none. See, because they've been told all I do is get my money from my auto exchange. Well, in business people leverage. The most successful family in America and Sam Walton children, they get all of their income through leverage and residual income. 2 million people work for Walmart Incorporated, but none of them are Sam Walton's children. So those 2 million people, they get up every day and go to work, so the Walton children don't have to. And out of the Walton family, stores, they have multiple streams of income. They're not caught up on whether you want Coke or Pepsi. They got both of them for you. They're not caught up on whether a person wants one brand versus the next. They're not in the brand business. They're in the marketing business. They're a distribution point. They got streams of income, whichever one you want. Come buy. They just want you to buy it at Walmart. They don't want you to go to Kroger to buy it. They want you to buy your groceries at Walmart, buy your clothes at Walmart, buy your tennis shoes at Walmart, buy your cabinet equipment at Walmart, buy your electronics at Walmart, buy your furnaces at Walmart. They just want you to buy everything through them. And then they want you to keep coming back on a monthly basis or weekly basis because they make some residual income. And obviously all of the Waltons have massive investments. And all of the Waltons, including grandchildren today, live on passive income. Now you tell me why somebody would want the other way versus this. See, they don't know that this would constitute wealth. What they think constitutes wealth is if they making $30,000 a year, they say, boy, if I could just get me a job making $100, I'd be wealthy. Well, they need to go talk to somebody making $100. I can tell you making $100 ain't what it sounds like. Yes, it's better than 30, but it surely ain't wealth. So let's take a look and let's analyze what it takes to get both of these things done. Okay. Now this I picked on because this is what I did. I went back to school to become an accountant. I have an accounting degree. And what I chose to do was say, okay, I need to make, at the time I was working for the cable company in Tacoma, Washington, I said, okay, what I need to do is I need to make somewhere in the neighborhood of $100,000 a year by the time my daughter was going to go to college. So I knew I was about 12, 13 years away at that time, maybe 15. So I said, what is it going to take for me to make? I talked to counselors about this. And they helped me figure out this is the path. Or at that time, and even today, because I got a lot of friends that's accountants today, tax professionals out there. A lot of friends in this field. So I'm not talking to you, I'm talking to me and what I did. So this is a 10 to 20 year career to get to six figures. Well, the first thing is it takes 4 to 6 years to go to college and get an accounting degree. While you're in school, you're going to make $0 working as an accountant. They're going to give you a lot of classes you got to take. And here's something that I want to put in here. You got to pass some classes. You can't just take them. You have to study and pass those courses and actually know how it works. When I went to college, I used to let, because I went back as an adult, I had a wife and children, and many of the people who were going to school with me at night, they were adults also, and they were dumber than a rock trying to swing it. They know nothing. So me and one other lady there, we were pretty smart. We got all the A's in the class. And I used to let them copy my homework. You know why I used to let them copy my homework? 2 reasons. Number one, when I was in high school, the lady I'm married to now was my good friend. We wasn't dating, but I copied her homework because I just didn't want to do it. And I was supposed to do my homework. But I was also smart enough that when test time came, I could pass tests. These people weren't that smart. They would copy my homework and they couldn't pass tests. And I'm like, I can't hit them with a test doc. You can copy my homework. But when it comes to test time, you're going to have to know how accounts payable work. When it comes to test time, you're going to have to know how to enter into the general ledger what goes. When it comes to test time, you're going to have to know how to put together a P&L statement. When it comes to test time, you're going to have to know how inventory works. I can't help you there. I bet you caught my assignment. You can turn that in. But you fail the test, you're still going to fail the test. Now, going to college today, in a degree program, that would probably cost you somewhere around $60,000 to get that degree. Now, it could cost you that much a year if you're not careful, you go to the wrong school. But let's say you go in-state and you kind of stick with it, you're going to be somewhere in the neighborhood of $60,000 for your college degree. When you get out of school, after getting this degree, your starting salary is going to be somewhere between $30,000 and $50,000 a year, depending on where you go get your jobs at. Now, you can get a little bit more salary depending on certain jobs. Let's say that you can work for one of the big accounting firms. They pay a little bit more than small companies do. But here's the thing about a small company. If you start with a small company, let's say you can start with a company like MyEcon. You can learn the whole of accounting working for MyEcon. But if you go work for one of the big accounting firms, they advertise this on TV all the time, BDO. They're going to put you in one department, and you're going to sit in that department, and you ain't going to really learn anything but what they want you to learn. So let's say they want you to be an auditor. You'll learn how to audit, but you will not learn all of the different things about being an accountant. You just learn how to audit the books that they tell you the books, the record that they want you to audit. How to look for those things. Now, so after that schooling, you get started, you're going to do 2 to 5 years at least, if not more. Most people go back and get the master's degree if they really try to get to 100. Then they have to pass a CPA exam. And another 5 to 10 years later, they hope to be as what's called a comptroller or a CFO at a major corporation. And that corporation will pay them $100,000 a year or more. Or along the way, they may build them a accounting firm where they do books and records for small companies, and they do taxes primarily for 400 or 500 people. And they frustrated to no end with the tax business. But they are doing it. And you can get to 100 maybe that way. But if you build your own small firm, most people don't really ever build them firms big enough to get beyond themselves and at best 1 to 2 other people. So they stay struggling, and the business struggles along the way. Now, but if I had to pick one of those two, I'd pick the route of building me an accounting, a record keeping, an accounting firm, and build a small business versus just getting on somebody's job and staying there forever. Again, it's up to anyone what they want to do, but this is the path. So let me show you a MyEcon path. Now, in MyEcon, I'm going to talk to you about a 7-year plan to get to 100. Now, right there, some of you quit because you say, "How long I wait 7 years?" Well, how long you been waiting for you now to get to 100? See, we need to get some realization. Folks come to MyEcon and they quit a week, 10 days into the deal. My dang made no money. But yet they've been on their job 20 years and they broke. If you ain't never made 100 nowhere else, let me ask you a question. Judge yourself on this. What makes you think that you're worth $100,000? What makes you think you're worth $100,000 if you've never made $100,000 in your life? Something have you confused if you think that you're worth $100,000 and you've never made that before in your life. Somewhere along the way, you must understand that if you're worth all of that, somebody would have paid you that already. See, because if you was as great as you think that you are, someone would have seen your skill set and they would have paid you that $100,000 if they thought you were really worth it. Now, if they didn't pay it to you, Then do what I did when nobody paid me $100. I went out and proved them wrong. I can't remember the last time I didn't make $100,000. I can't remember the last time I struggled in my life and didn't make $100,000. So I want you to understand this. I'm not trying to be rude. I'm trying to tell you, judge something fairly. Because many people judge my income differently than they judge everybody else. They didn't make no money nowhere else, but they heard somebody say, I'm going to get rich quick if I go with my income. No, you're not. You're not going to get rich quick. I ain't no getting rich quick ideas. If you go over my income, it's going to take you 12 to 18 months part-time working at it. Not sitting down on your butt doing nothing. So let's look at what this is going to be. In these 12 to 18 months, this is what you've got to do. This is our turnkey business building system. Okay, if we have engineers on this phone, if we have contractors on this phone, everything is built 3 times. It's first built in somebody's mind. Secondly, it's built on paper. You put together a flow chart. You put together a blueprint. And you talk about, this is what we want. And then you get contractors to go out and build it. See, here's what you got to know. I'm going to come back to this in a minute. I'm going to do this a little bit differently here this morning and this evening. I want to show you, when you are in these classes, which you are in today, you are in some of these classes today. You've had a little bit about correcting W-4 withholding, tax and record keeping. You hear some stuff now about business. You heard some debt elimination. And you heard a little bit about the investment because you heard the PCP. Let me make an announcement to you today. This is not called work. You are not working. You are in training. Now, let me take your impediment. If you go to college, the instructor who's teaching you, they can call what they're doing work because they're getting paid to do it. So as John trains and develop a team, that's called work. You got to develop a team. Now, when I met John Pettiford and several other people, I won't forget this. They don't forget it. They won't. They know it's true. We were sitting in a room one day in Grand Rapids, Michigan. 7 people in there had been in Michigan a whole week, driving all over Michigan, running around every night. We had 7 people in the room. Now, yes. And I asked them that day if they would allow me to be honest with them. See, I know people say Alvin Curry hard because they call being honest hard. See, this is hardcore. Can I tell you the truth? Can I tell you don't know nothing? That's why you ain't got nobody here today. Can I be honest? See, that's too hard. Don't tell me that, Alvin. Tell me, Alvin, a fairy tale. Tell me something else that the reason everybody here is I was perfect. They was running off. No, you don't know nothing. And I drew out a similar program to this on the whiteboard. And I told him, I said, now this is work. And this is school. Now let's not be confused. You need all of this education. Just like I needed it to be an accountant. I need to go to school to do. I needed the schooling. You need the schooling. You cannot make it in my because you don't know how W-4 works. If you can't change somebody's W-4, you better get to go learn how to do that right now. It don't make no sense. But nobody been in my econ 30 days that can't change the W-4 without help. Minimize taxes. I got classes on that. June got classes on that in the back office. We got lots of classes on minimizing taxes. Record keeping in W-4. All these business income classes. We teach them every Thursday night. How to do this. Debt elimination, investing. All these are classes. You need all these things. Every one of you need them. So you need to attend class. So you learn and you can teach them all. See, it's a good thing that John Pettiford get on here and do these trainings, because he did not know them when he was sitting in that room in Grand Rapids. But he learned that day, because I told him, I said, if I can talk to you, he said, yeah. And he committed then that every time I showed up in Michigan, he was going to be everywhere I went. And anytime I did anything, he was going to be there. He didn't miss training. Some of y'all have heard him talk about he had a conflict with his job, whether he was going to come to Atlanta to a training or go to work. Some of y'all have heard the story. He decided, well, I'm going to go down to Atlanta to the training because I'm trying to fix my life. The job, I'll just deal with them when I get back. They fired him. But today, April 25th, 2020, he ain't worried about finances because he made a bold vertical move. See, some of y'all plan for a bold vertical move. You say, Jesus going to fix it. No, Jesus ain't going to fix it. He already fixed it. He sent you here. He sent you to this place. So that's all he was going to do. You don't do it. John had to get up. We rode night and day all across Michigan, all down in Ohio. In the snow, rain, all down in Indianapolis. It was all over the place. Excuse me. Doing training, doing meetings. Get up the next morning, hit the road again. He was riding, he was learning. Then we go out and then we practice what we learned. We were doing on-the-job training. And today, John Pettiford duplicate that system. Some of y'all see him and say he sounds just like Alvin. He rode with me. He spent time with me, day in and day out for years. And today, he got my suit on. See his face out there called right under Alvin Kirby. I told him I was going to lose all this weight, and he was going to gain it, so I would give him all my suit. So this morning, he got one on. So that's it. That's not me. He got my name there. All right, just joking. That was a little bit for that, John. Okay. Anyway, here's the thing, folks. He and a couple other people in that room got their business going today. Some folks are offended. They went and quit. But that's okay. I can't win them all. But God told me, you got to know this stuff. Dexter Sadler, new inventor on the phone today. Dexter teach all these classes. But he is a absolute committed MyCon leader, because he gets on here, he get his team on here, that they don't miss no training. See, Alvin Curry today is Alvin Stokes' partner. And it ain't never been a Saturday that we do first Saturday training that Alvin ain't on. Now, you say, well, Alvin, you ain't out there training. I don't have to be out there training. Everybody can't talk today. Everybody can't talk on first Saturday. And everybody can't talk on any other training we have. But I'm on the first Saturday training every time. Why? Because those are corporate training, and I support everything this corporation do. When I have leadership calls and special announcements, I'm on all of them. Do I need them? Nope. I already talked to him about it. I already know what he's going to say before he says it, so we're not already discussing. But why do I get on? I'm a leader. And as a leader, I support the play of the leader that I'm following. See, Ivy is our ultimate leader here, and I follow that. And so as a leader here, Dexter follows me. If Dexter Sattler knows I'm going to do something, he's going to be on the call. Some people, now Dexter got a 4 o'clock call today. He going to stay on here until the end, then he's going to go do his call. Some folks, they got to get off because they got to run. But wait a minute now, they knew we had training. Why would they schedule everybody else? If somebody asked me, hey, Alvin, can you do it? No, I got training a little bit today. I can't do it. I don't care what it was. No, I can't do it. I'm already busy. Some folks act like I had children. I raised 3 children while I did this. My children played sport. My children was active. They were very active kids. They graduated. I had to go to graduation. I do all kinds of stuff. I built my life around this. My wife and I celebrated over the years, anniversaries and birthdays, and we got involved with other family events the last 25 years, but we built it all around the event of understanding this business. When my father died in 11, I made a trip to Michigan the day after he died and trained for 3 days and came back and went and did the funeral. When my mother died last year, I went to Mississippi and I trained 4 days before we got to the funeral because the funeral was going to be here. I went over early the week before. I did 4 days of training before the funeral. And I did the funeral. I don't know what you want to do, but you say you want to be wealthy. But I know today I'm wealthy. I know today I'm blessed. And I'm on this call to tell you, you got to pay a price. And some of y'all think it's too hard to pay a price. Now, he might go over time and say, well, if I do, you just get off. They don't stop them talking. They don't stop them training. See, I'm going to keep doing what I came to do today. Then you got to decide what you're going to do. But you keep saying, I want to win. You got to learn these things to the point you can teach them. You got to learn these things to the point you can teach them. This is training. Now, what is work? This is work. This is work. Every time a person come in, they got to be quick started. When you bring a person in, roll a person business. If you didn't quick start them, you started them wrong. If you didn't do a quick start with them, you got them off to a bad start. You helping them fail in business because you didn't do a quick start. If you told them, just get some folks on the call tomorrow night, how they gonna be on? How they gonna be on? You got them off to a bad start. You did them wrong. Because you know ain't no way a quick start till you do this. Or you ain't never read quick start yourself. Quick start say you ought to make a prospect list. Quick start, first thing they tell you to do is make a prospect list. That's work. Next thing they tell you to do is then it says peek them and pass them. It tells you to train them how to get on the call. The Bible declares, train a child in the way he should go, where the old is not depart. My mama taught me stuff down in Mississippi. My dad taught me stuff down in Mississippi. That when I left and went in the Army, I met a lot of guys from other places, they were doing stuff, and I said, I don't do that. They said, you're a little weak, right? I ain't weak. I ain't gonna do what you want me to do. Weak will be doing what you want me to do. I knew when I was a young man, I left home. You can't make me do nothing. You can't make me do calling me weak. I ain't gonna do that now. And then you can't whoop me, so we ain't got to worry about nothing. You can't make me do nothing. Train up right. So when I left home, I was trained right. And so I followed that path. I did a few things I wasn't supposed to do, but I wanted to do. But now you train them up that when they come in business, they just supposed to get somebody on the call. They ain't supposed to know nothing about quick start. They ain't gonna quick start nobody. They don't supposed to make no prospect list. They ain't gonna have nobody make nothing. They didn't even know peak and pass exist. They be like, I don't know why nobody don't want to do business with me. Folks quit in 2 or 3 days saying they've been putting videos out and want nobody else and nobody want them. They said, don't nobody want my income. No, my income is recruit folks every day. How you mean that nobody want my income? Hundreds of people a day, you said, don't nobody want my income. They don't want your economy. Because you don't know nothing. When you get in this business, how could they know? They just, today they doing this. They join today. If you tell me this, just copy my video and put it out there. That ain't what Quick Start say. Make a prospect list. So you go to a job, they tell you what to do, you do it. You assume automatically, whatever they tell you to do in the job, you're supposed to do it. If they told you, you're supposed to go buy some safety shoes, you wouldn't have bought them. If you had no money. I got to get some safety shoes because they told me I couldn't come to work without none. They tell you what to do and you follow it. If you tell your new prospect what to do, this called work. Now we talk about work. See, we talked about training a little bit earlier. Now we talking about work. Now we talking about what you're supposed to do as a leader, as an EVP. You can be a leader day one. Some of y'all are leaders. You lead as another boss in your life. So why you come out here you don't want to be a leader? You be a leader day one whenever you get ready. Teach them to preach and pass. Now they can pass to any type presentation out here. We don't have the in-home ones right now due to this virus. But buddy, we sure got a bunch of webinars we can do. We can do how to do webinars, but I do a lot of private webinars every day. Something I've been teaching you to do. Leaders, you want to make infinity? You want to go ahead and get wealthy? Get 3 a day on your team. 3 a day. You can do three webinars a day yourself. A day. You ought to get 3 a day on your team. That'll be over 1,000 people on your team in a year. Those people go through that presentation. They're going to either pop out as customers or new MDs. If they pop out as customers, you get referrals from them, and you give them a product presentation, and you go ahead on and have them drop in on product. Our new infinity guidelines is going to be based around how much product sales do you do. Infinities, and when I say infinities, everybody on here ought to say, he's talking to me. Say, you got to start calling things that'll be as the things that are not as though they be. You got to start calling yourself infinity. Infinities, infinities. You need to make sure you start training on products. Get some product movement through your group. They pop out down here at MD. That's a new recruit. They did the IMS, the whole deal. Now when they do that, you're supposed to plug them into new trainings, promotion, or whatever's going on. And then have a new MD. You do the quick start orientation with them, see how that line go up for the quick start orientation. And then it also goes down to the new MD, and the first thing it says is correct their debit phone. The top part of this floor plan is work. The top part of this turnkey business building flow chart is work. So be careful what work is. The bottom section that shows the training modules is training. It's training on how to do what you be doing. These are training sessions. And you must understand that. Now let me move on here, because we got some things that we got to get done today. So, first 12 to 18 months, it may take you that long. You don't have no problem with taking 4 or 5 years to get a college degree. But now they want this done, John. The first day they get in, they want to figure out how I don't know everything. And I'm amazed at this. People do something like this. They'll say something like, give me the quick version. Give me the bottom line. Then what I'm going to say, you didn't tell me that. But you just want the bottom line. You want me to tell you it was $29 to get started in 34 months. And you're going to get a website. You said, that's all I need to know on hand. Then I was like, oh, I didn't know I had to learn all this. I thought magic was going to happen. Rob went through the conversation plan, so I'm not going to go through step 3 down here. $125 and $7. I'm not going to go through that. That's what you're going to earn. But now, as a leader, you build your base shop during 10 a week. Well, if you did that in a month time, you make your $1,000 out of your own deal. Over 36 to 60 months, after you learn how to do this, you ought to have 100 active EVPs. This question was asked earlier on your first generation. If they didn't average but 10 people each, you'd have 1,000. Now, 1,000 active associates times $8 is $8,000 a month. You You make $1,000 your month on your own self. That's $9,000. That's over $100,000 a year, folks. You can do this in 7 years. But see, if you set your mind out, go do this 1 week, 1 month, or you set your mind, I want to do it in 3. If you're going to do it in 7 years, you got to get them to go to work. See, when I went back to college, I had to go to school every night. I had to come home and study every night. And to get them to go to work the next morning to take care of my family. When I went in business with Alvin, I got out of school. I quit working overtime because I had to go to work every night. I worked as a cable TV installer for 40 hours a week. And I went to work with Alvin every night from 6 to 12:30 to 1 o'clock every night. And every Saturday, all day. I do no more overtime for 18 months. And I went full time. And I ain't never been back on a job since. See, I'm talking to you about my life. Yours may be a little bit different. You might not can't lock down like I do. Or you might be better than me. You might be able to flip it quicker than me. But I told you about my accounting. I told you about my attitude here with building with Alvin. It didn't take me quite 7 years to get to 100. But it took me a little over 5.5 to get to 100. Ladies and gentlemen, but I ain't been less than 100 in almost 25 years. The Lord has blessed us. He put us in this earth for us to build this thing. Now, I know this is a little difficult for you to see, but inside this first box here, you got taught, go to school, get education. Inside this box, this is the first generation got a little job and a good education. They ran 40 years. That's a generation. They taught their children to go ahead on. They got a little bit better job because they had a little bit better education. They ran their 40 years. They got a little bit further because they had a little good job. Now, about the third generation out here, these are well-educated folks now. They got law degrees and doctor degrees. They run their 40 years out here, and then they have to turn it over. Their children can't start for it. Then their children go get good jobs at what they call elite schools. And they may even work at high officials of the government, or they may be politicians, and they run a little further. But every generation starts over. Because see, if you keep telling your children they got to get a job, they got to get a job, they got to get a job, watch what happens. The first generation builds this company, this red box of the first generation. And let's say that was me. I started this business, working 40 years, where there is no vision. The people will perish. I give my children a vision. And then my children say, we're going to run us a business because that's what Daddy did. They run this blue circle around here. And they run that blue deal. And they say, that's what my daddy did. That's what I'm going to do. Then they start understanding. A good man leaves an inheritance for his children's children. So I left the inheritance for them. They said, boy, I'd like to leave one for my children. So the next 40 years, they children, these are my grandchildren in the black. They run 160 years into the deal. The blessings of the Lord make us rich and addeth no sorrow. The fourth generation is the green out here. Now we got a big-time world-class company known all around the world, just like you see these big corporations out here now. The Bible says a man's gift makes room for him at the top. If you want those scriptures, Proverbs 14 and 12, where there's a way that seemeth right to a man. Then go to Proverbs 13 and 22. A good man leaves an inheritance. See, it seems right to get that job and work hard. Proverbs 10 and 22. The blessings of the Lord make us rich. In Proverbs 18 and 16. A man's gifts make room for him. Take him out there. He's got a great world-class business. See, the problem is, occasionally there's a one-generation world-class business built. But in most cases, These businesses have been around for hundreds of years. This is passes down generation to generation to generation. You can bet the Curry children understand and they want this thing called Alvin Curry's inheritance. They want this. Ladies and gentlemen, you got to understand yourself what's the difference between success strategy. I did not tell you to go quit your job, and wealth strategy. You don't need to leave your family struggling. I did not leave my family struggling at any point. But today, because of what God gave me from the foundation of the earth, from my mother's womb, when they were telling me I was just being hard-headed and managed, when I didn't want to do certain things, I didn't know that was because he put it in me that I was supposed to be a leader. I didn't know that what I was supposed to do was change the world. We're here today, ladies and gentlemen. We will change the world. God gave Alvin Stokes a vision and a mission. In 1982, he spoke it into. Alvin told me about it in 1989. So you build a business and an institution that will astound the world. You'll create thousands of millionaires. We call it 1 million millionaires now. To become a blessing of their country, their community, their fellow man. So Lord God Almighty will get praise and glory. He gave him that. He told me about it. And I locked into that vision with him. God put me in that vision with him. We locked down for our life. We spent our life together. Some folks want to know, I want to run here real quick, get this, so I can go back to being me. I ain't never going back to drinking. I ain't drank in over 30 years. I ain't never going back to it. I don't care who drink. I ain't never going back to party. I ain't never going back. I'm going to keep going forward to see what the end is for God got for us. We might be short-changing ourselves about $1 million. We're going to astound the world whether you stay with us or don't. You will hear about it. You'll be a part of it if you don't stay. You still know. You said, them boys said they were going to do this. See, in this struggle, in this pandemic, God knew this. And he got us ready for from the foundation of the earth. And 15 years ago, he put us in technology. 30 years ago, he put us in finance and in networking. And he prepared us. He got Alvin Curry to understand how technology works. He gave us all of you all out there in the field. John Pettiford now can run meetings all over this country. Strozay Hill can run meetings all over this country. Dexter Saller can run meetings all over this country. Spencer LaCappa can run meetings all over this country. Marion Sanders can run meetings anywhere he want to run meetings at in this country. This is just to name a few. Larry them down in the Cleveland, they running meetings. God prepared us, guys. We're prepared. We're ready. We're ready. We're ready. We got leaders all over. Stretch down the net. Stretch the net down. And let's go get them. Let's prospect. We try to train on my college every Thursday night on how to prospect different ways. How to go get different people. Plug in on Thursday night. And you'll learn. Those training that didn't work when you got them out there. I know some of y'all were out there and texted me last night, yesterday, telling me that some of the training you couldn't get back to Angela's training and you couldn't get back to Latasha's training. They work now. I thank y'all for letting me know, but they're working now. June got them working. That's what we're supposed to do. We got an ace in June. God blessed us. See, he ain't gonna bless us. He already blessed us. Now we got to go do our part. We got to go to work. Every single day. Leaders, get up off of that thing and let's go to work. See, here's the thing, and I close with this. If you think you can, you can. If you think you can't, you're right. So whatever you want, if you want to change your life, change. If you don't, stay where you are and be happy and don't complain about us who do. I thank you all for this. Let's let John finish up. And if anybody want to hang around afterwards, John, let's stay on a little bit later on and get a few questions. Anybody want to after you finish.